How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access math teacher Ash, and welcome to ML with Sir Ash. Today, we're going to discuss solving quadratic equation by the quadratic formula. So, hit that subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool clear math videos just like this. Hello math learners, welcome to our final method about the discussion on solving quadratic equation. Now this fourth method is all about quadratic formula. This is still about the discussion in Mathematics 9, Quarter 1, Week 1 to 2. Now let's start. For this lesson, we are going to learn how to use quadratic formula in solving quadratic equation. So question, what is a quadratic formula? When we try to solve the completing the square method, our standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? Now, from that given standard form, we can derive our value for x such as negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Now, this is what we call the quadratic formula. We just need to identify the values of our coefficients a, b, and c and then substitute it to our formula. Now this method is very safe, my dear math learners, because what we will do is we just input our values for a, b, and c, substitute it to our formula, and then simplify. Okay, now the question is, why use the quadratic formula? Technically speaking, the quadratic formula will allow us to solve any kind of quadratic equation, regardless whether we can factor it or we cannot factor it, or even if our linear term or constant term are missing. So any situation, as long as we have the quadratic term and it is called a quadratic equation, we can apply our quadratic formula. One important piece of this quadratic formula is under the radical sign. And that expression under the radical sign is the b squared minus 4ac. Now, this b squared minus 4ac will help us determine what kind of answer we will going to obtain from our equations. And this kind of expression is known as the discriminant. We will have a video about this on the next discussions. Don't you worry. Now, let's continue. The quadratic formula is used to solve any kind of quadratic equation, as we all know, and this is our formula. X is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Now, some people or some other students are saying that the disadvantage of this method is that the formula is too long. But remember this, my dear math learners. So when you have memorized the formula of the quadratic equation, that disadvantage will not longer be considered as one, because as long as what kind of quadratic equation you will encounter, the quadratic formula can easily solve it. Remember that a here should not be equal to 0 because our quadratic term contains our a. Now if a becomes 0, that means that we will no longer have a quadratic term. Then our equation will not become a quadratic equation. Okay? So regardless whether b or c becomes 0, there's nothing wrong about it as long as our a is not equal to 0. Now, what are the rules in using the quadratic formula? Very simple. We have our ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the standard form. We just need to list our a, b, and c, and then we just input it to our formula to minimize our mistakes. Again, the first step in solving our quadratic equation using the quadratic formula is that we need to transform our quadratic equations into standard form so we can determine what are a, b, and c so that it is easy for us to substitute it to our formula. 2x squared plus 7x is equal to negative 5. This is not yet in the standard form, therefore we will transform it to standard form, giving us 2x squared plus 7x plus 5 is equal to 0. Now, we will name our a, b, and c. A here is 2, b here is 7, and c here is equal to 5. Now, using our quadratic formula, we will now substitute our values, giving us negative 7 plus minus the square root of 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5, all divided by 2 times 2. Okay, now, having this substitution, we will now simplify. So we have negative 7 plus minus 49 minus 40 all over 4. Now, as you can see, 7 squared here is 49, and then negative 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So that is minus 40. Not like earlier that two negatives become a positive. Here, there is only one negative, which is negative 4. So therefore, our operation is minus all over 4. Okay, now let us continue simplifying. We have now negative 7 plus minus square root of 9 over 4 because 49 minus 40 is equal to 9. Okay, but since our 9 here is a perfect square, therefore there is a square root of this number. So we have the expression negative 7 plus minus 3 over 4. So now, having this expression, we will now separate our plus and minus so that we can simplify even more, giving us two expressions known as negative 7 plus 3 over 4 and negative 7 minus 3 over 4. Going to the first expression, we have negative 7 plus 3, that is negative 4 over 4. So negative 4 can be divided by 4 and the answer is negative 1. So that is the first value for our x. Now going to the second expression, we have negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10. Negative 10 over 4. Now 4 cannot divide negative 10. So therefore what we can do here is to lowest term our fraction. So giving us the result negative 5 over 2. So the two values for our x are negative 1 and negative 5 over 2. Easy, right? Now let's go to the third example. Now going to our third example, we have x squared minus 2x is equal to 8. So this is not yet in the standard form. Therefore, transforming it to standard form, we have x squared minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Now what we will do here is to name our coefficients a, b, and c. So we have a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 2, and c is equal to negative 8. Applying it to our quadratic formula, we will substitute it. We have negative 2 plus minus square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 8, all divided by 2 times 1. So as you can see in the first part of our expression, we have two negatives here. So if we simplify this, we have positive 2 plus minus, then the square root of negative 2 is positive 4, and 4 times 1 times negative 8, or negative 4 times 1 times negative 8 is positive 32, giving us 4 plus 32, all divided by 2 times 1, that is 2. Okay, so now simplifying even more, we have 2 plus minus 36 because 4 plus 32 is 36, all divided by 2. Now 36 is still a perfect square, and the square root of 36 is 6, so giving us the expression 2 plus minus 6 all over 2, or 2 plus minus 6 all divided by 2. Now, separating this expression, because we can still simplify it even further, we have 2 plus 6 over 2 and we have 2 minus 6 over 2. So in the first expression, we have 2 plus 6, that is 8 over 2 divided by 2. It means that 8 is divided by 2 and the answer is 4. So that is our first value. Going to our second expression, we have 2 minus 6 over 2. So 2 minus 6 is equal to negative 4. And negative 4 can be divided by 2, giving us the value negative 2. So the final values for our x are positive 4 and negative 2. Okay, now let us go to our final example. We have x squared minus 7x is equal to 10. This is not yet in the standard form, so transforming it becomes x squared minus 7x minus 10 is equal to 0. Naming our a, b, and c, we have a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 7, and c is equal to negative 10. Using our quadratic formula, we have negative 7 plus minus square root of negative 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 10, all divided by 2 times 1. So simplifying this expression, we have positive 7 plus minus 49 plus 40. 49 because the square of negative 7 is 49, and positive 40 because negative 4 times positive 1 times negative 10 is equal to positive 40, all divided by 2. Okay, simplifying even further, we have 7 plus minus square root of 89 all over 2. So in this expression, we will stop because our square root of 89 is not a perfect square. Therefore, no further simplification is needed, giving us our final answer as 7 plus minus the square root of 89 all divided by 2. Okay, so I hope you have learned our simple method in applying quadratic formula. And now this is the time that I will be giving you your try these exercises for you to know whether you have mastered the competency. And this is the exercises. We have 3 equations: x squared plus 10x plus 9 equals 0, x squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0, and x squared plus 7x is equal to 4. So I hope you try this at home for you to understand whether you have mastered the competency. Now, this is still your mathematics teacher, Sir Ash, and reminding you that it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Thank you for subscribing, like, and share, and always take care. God bless.